I found this book on my shelf, and apparently I wrote it. Don't really remember. Well, I'm wearing a question mark hat and a question mark jacket, and that can only mean one of two things. Either I do things that make no sense with no rhyme or reason whatsoever, or I'm going to read from a book again. It's actually both. Alright, I wrote this about 15 years ago and put no thought into it. And it makes more sense now than anything I've come up with since. Alright. So let's see what we got here. I was talking with Kevin about conspiracy theory, so I decided to read this section first. This is in chapter... who gives a fuck? Okay. The men in black. You think they're working for the government, right? Wrong. That's what they want you to think. They tell you the MIBs are working for the government so that you'll think they are not. They tell you the MIBs are not working for the government so that they'll. Let me just start that one over, because I apparently left the speech center of my brain at home. I also can't see for shit. Okay. That's what they want you to think. They tell you the MIBs are working for the government, are not working for the government. Fuck, I'm doing it again. Are not working for the government so that you'll think that they are working for the government. The truth is that the MIBs are androids. These people are sent to Earth by aliens. Let me try to move my face closer to this so I can actually see it. I need new eyes. These people are sent to Earth by the aliens to cover up the UFO sightings. The aliens don't want you to know that they've been using human DNA to create a warrior class of alien. You see, the aliens themselves are short and skinny. They fear us. With a warrior class, they can overpower us. As themselves, they fear the CIA, the FBI, and the NSA. They even fear the PTA. Man, I'm using a lot of acronyms in this paragraph. The one little side effect of the genetic fusion is that the hybrids have a human diet, while the aliens I hear from somewhere about a parsec past Zeta Reticuli are primarily vegetarian. The warrior class has an all-too-human craving for hamburgers. During exercises, they will often go into a carnivorous frenzy for beef and end up mutilating cattle. As for the homing devices found in some abductees' brains, they appear to be of extraterrestrial origin. This is deliberately deceptive. The homing devices are actually placed by gnomes who come from far beneath the Earth's crust. The purpose of these devices is the most diabolical so far. It's part of an elaborate scheme to get free cable in Svartalfheim. That is the land of dark elves for those not familiar with Norse mythology. or seen the latest Thor movie, either one. Trolls, however, are not the sprites of yore, the same as the sprites of yore. Trolls are actually mutants created by the United States government and sent back in time through the use of a quantum reflector. Their mission? Make more legends. So if you suddenly remembering something that your whole life that you forgot that you didn't remember before, it's the work of time trolls. By now, I suppose you're wondering where I get such accurate and detailed information. Well, you see, you have to have you have to tune into the proper subspace psychic wavelength. You simply wrap your head in aluminum foil and then ram yourself head first into a stone wall. Repeat this until you start receiving images from the dark forces plotting around us at all times. It's very informative. Want more information? Want to know how deep this conspiracy goes? So do I, but in the absence of facts, we'll guess. I have the most shocking conspiracy of all time. It deals with the Smurfs. Shocked? You should be. It only makes sense that the Smurfs were, in fact, brace yourself, communists. You heard me. Actually, I hear a lot of people saying this now, but I said it first. Totally, I said it first. I just said the Smurfs were communists. Wait, I did? Think about it. No money system. They share everything equally and give free work to the state under the direction of a totalitarian patriarch. This casts Gargamel in the role of the evil capitalist. He is driven by a hatred of good-natured sharing ways of the Smurfs and a desire for personal wealth by boiling Smurfs into gold. I suppose Clockwork Smurf could be the representation of the ideal citizen who has literally become a machine. The Wartmongers have a monarchy and could therefore represent some other European nation. Balthazar is the Tsar, hence the name. I'm still not sure who Hominimus represents. My point is, though they are blue, they are red. Needless to say, I have way too much free time on my hands. As an excerpt from my chapter on conspiracies, I'm actually a little bit concerned that it made as much sense as it did. Actually concerned that I think it makes sense.
What year was that written?
It was about 1999, I think. Yep. And a lot of the notes for this I wrote like years earlier even, so who knows. And now a message just for you. Forget about the house being on fire and read this important note just for you. Underneath the ground is an unburied treasure chest, not back. Now you may ask me to tell you where this treasure chest is so that you can dig it up and let me keep it myself. Nice of you. You really seem to know what you're doing on this planet. Simply walk 10 paces from any object 10 paces away from the treasure. Then turn around 720 degrees and walk 20 paces backwards. I haven't seen this in a long time. Understand that if you get lost, it's your own fault for listening to me. Feel free to bring someone else's own shovels, or purchase them in any ceramic store with that person's money. Find this treasure chest and bring it to me, but please fill it up first. I have no fucking idea. No fucking idea. Holy shit. This chapter, this is chapter Roman numeral X. I. Look at this. It's just like a whole bunch of I's. I'm not even gonna bother counting them. All right. Let's see. Ever notice that TVs, by the way, this should give you some insight into what destroyed my brain. Just let you know. Ever notice that TV is running out of ideas? By the way, this is written in about 1999, so try to keep that in mind. Some of these references are a little bit dated. Actually, all of them are extremely dated. Ever notice that TV is running out of ideas? If not, then you also may not have noticed that we're living on planet Earth. Anyway, there's right off the obvious examples of the news covering trivial matters. Let's look at Core TV. Where's the snack TV? Now they have the Food Network, so... fuck that, I'm not reading that part. Let's see. Let's look at sitcoms. Well, I don't mean right now, but let's skip it. Have you ever noticed that the daughters on Just the 10 of Us were remarkably similar to the Golden Girls? Compare Wendy to Blanche, Cindy to Rose, or Connie to Dorothy, or Marie to Sophia. Again, does anybody even remember these? I'm actually reading this, I'm thinking to myself, what the fuck are these people? I knew who they were when I wrote it. Let's see, is this like, oh, fuck it, I'm not even reading that one, fuck that one. It's just a whole bunch of pointless dated references. Alright, the last passage I'm going to read here. Let's say you have something. You get rid of it. What remains? Nothing. You say that you have nothing. Are you telling the truth? Of course. It's not as if the concept of nothing itself is non-existent. Most of the universe is made of nothing. Therefore, when someone asks you if nothing is real, you say yes. Furthermore, if something must exist, then it must be something. But everything that exists is made of stuff, subatomic particles. These particles tend to exist but have an identity only by nature of their movement. I don't think that's accurate, but fuck it.
Sure.
So you are made of a bunch of things that only have existence because they're acting like the matter that makes up you or a toaster. So where does toast come from? Nowhere. It's not real. Nothing is real. To put it another way, oh shit. To put it another way, if nothing is real, what's real is nothing, and nothing is nothing, so nothing's not real. If nothing is not real, everything is real and everything's something, including nothing. If something is real and something's not real, then nothing is something and nothing is anything, or nothing is nothing and nothing is something, and everything's nothing and nothing is real. What's real is nothing is nothing. This shit goes on. And nothing is real where nothing is nothing, and nothing's not real, and everything's real, and everything's something, and that includes nothing. And nothing is real, and real is real, and real is not real, and nothing is real. If nothing is real, what's real is nothing, and nothing is nothing, and nothing is real. If something is real, something's not real, then nothing is something, and nothing, and everything's nothing. and nothing is real, or nothing's something and everything's nothing, or everything's something and nothing is something, and where nothing is nothing and everything's something including nothing, and nothing is something, so everything's nothing, and nothing is real, so nothing's real. Got all that? Confused? Good, now you're ready to read this book. I would drive people insane with that shit back in the 90s. Zach, get up here and relieve everybody else from my insanity.
Keep it going for Shawn. Everybody saw Bender's big score, right? When he has to read the fucking binary code in the time portal. I expected the time portal to open up. It's fucking nothing.